Hi, everybody. I've got a confession. I was not 100% happy with this machine when I released it the other day. Yes, it works, but limited to 14 items at a time. No, we can do better. What if we need a stack? What if we need 3 stacks? What if we need 5 stacks? What if we need 10 stacks? Here we have it. With the chest at the top full of supply items, you can get 10 stacks at a time through this machine. I haven't tested it with more. Yes, you could increase the input capability up here. If you do try that, just know that I have not tested that. At some point, it could back up the system, in which case, just come down here and remove the pile of items that would accumulate there. But 10 stacks is not a problem. I've run 10 stacks of gold sheets through it. And this is the results. We ended up with about 8.5 stacks back of precision mechanism, and these are the junk items that we received. You notice there are no gold sheets going back into the system, thanks to Reddit user Sailing94 for that tip to feed those back through. With feeding them back through the first test of 10 sheets that I ran, I did actually run out of supply items because of the amount of gold sheets that went back through. So just something to keep in mind. I did a second test of 10 stacks and did not run out of items. So obviously I had less gold sheets run through the system on that run. Some other improvements on this design is the addition of an input chest, which is conveniently placed right next to the output chest. You could also use the chest below as the input chest, as items will fall immediately through the chute to that chest anyway. But being up here will give you a little easier access to the supply chest. So let's go ahead and we're going to remove everything from the output chest. And let's start another run. I have 9 stacks of gold sheets that have already fallen into here. Let's add one more stack of gold sheets, and as you can see, they fall straight in. Got the power coming in over on this side, and you could come in anywhere with your power source depending on how your power supply is set up. I added in a rotational controller because obviously it performs better at higher speeds, but you could bring that down a little bit if need be to reduce the amount of stress. So let's go ahead and turn that on. We're going to get that running. And as you can see, items immediately start processing. They'll pass through these 5 times per item before ending up in the output chest. This design I was able to keep the same width as the previous design at 7 wide. It is 3 blocks taller than the other design, but you could actually make that shorter by using hoppers here and chest on top and make it 1 level smaller. I wanted to use create components though, so that is why I use chutes instead of hoppers up there. Just staying in the spirit of create. With this running at 256, we are using 4,608 stress units, which an 80 sail windmill should be able to power at full speed, so not too heavy on the power requirements. So as you see, the items fall through and they just buffer through each of these chests. Now these chests will back up with items, as you can see. And I've allowed for quite a bit of backup, and they will back up actually all the way to the input chest for a short time, which is why you want to be careful if you do try to run more than 10. This system uses the same filter setup as the first system, with this being filter 1, filter 2, filter 3, and filter 4 is around the back on our output chest. The only change to the filter from the previous machine is the removal of the gold sheet from filter number 4 to allow them to feed back through. If you'd rather keep the gold sheets, then just put them back in the filter. We're going to go over towards the end of the video kind of an easier way of setting up these filters than we did in the previous one. You can use the old method if you prefer, or stick around and I'll show you one that I think is a little bit easier. All right, let's crack on with this tutorial. Okay, here we have everything we'll need to complete the build. 4 gearboxes, 8 vertical gearboxes, 1 encased fan, 21 shafts, 4 mechanical belts, 3 depots, 3 deployers, 10 andesite funnels, 3 brass funnels, 10 chutes, 13 chests, a rotational speed controller, a large cogwheel, a clutch, a lever or redstone link, a source of rotational power, 4 filters, and you can use the same filter setup as in the previous tutorial. I will go over a more efficient way of setting up those filters towards the end of this video, however. You want some building blocks just to help place some components. For each precision mechanism that you want to craft, you'll need 1 golden sheet, 5 cogwheels, 5 large cogwheels, and 5 iron nuggets. And one item I almost forgot, we'll also need a smart chute. Alright, let's get building. We're going to start, I'm going to just put this section of it in the ground and open this up a little just so y'all can see what is going on. We're going to place a vertical gearbox, and on top of that vertical gearbox, we're going to place an encased fan. Come around the back and place another vertical gearbox against the first one, and then turn to the side and place another vertical gearbox so that the shaft is coming out the side. Into that vertical gearbox, we're going to place 3 shafts, followed by another vertical gearbox and a horizontal gearbox next to that. Next, we'll swing around the front. We're going to place a shaft against the side of the encased fan, and that should place it just like that, and then another shaft into this horizontal gearbox, and then connect those 2 shafts with a belt. Okay, next grab your chutes, and we're going to place 6 chutes on top of the encased fan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you want to be able to see into those chutes, just right click on them with your wrench. Okay, next we want to grab a chest. We're going to place the chest right in the middle of this belt. And then we're going to grab our andesite funnels, place one into the side of the chest, place another into the chute, place another into this side of the chest, and then we can grab a temporary block, place it at the end of the belt, place another chest, and then place an andesite funnel going into that chest. Alright, next we're going to grab a chute and shift click into that chest. Place another chest on top of the chute. Now we're going to swing around the back. We're going to get our shaft, place a shaft there, and then a vertical gearbox. Place another shaft and another vertical gearbox. Another shaft, another vertical gearbox, 2 more shafts, and then a vertical gearbox placed sideways. Okay, next we're going to get our shafts, place one into the vertical gearbox, and then against the side of this chute, attach those with a belt. Grab a temporary block. I'm going to place that temporary block right on top of this funnel so that we can place a double chest here. Remove the temporary block. On top of the left side of this chest, we're going to crouch click and place a chute. On top of that chute, we're going to place another chest. We're going to place a shaft into this vertical gearbox. Crouch click, look at the top of this chest, place another shaft, and then do the same with this chest. Now we're going to connect the two end shafts with the belt. On top of the belt, on the right end, we're going to place a chest. Next, we're going to get our andesite funnels and place one against each chest. Get a temporary block, place it right in front of this shaft, and place a chest on top of it. Remove the temporary block. Grab a brass funnel and swing around the back side. We're going to place a brass funnel into the back of that chest. Get your wrench and right click on that to make sure the arrow is pointing into the chest. Okay, next we're going to place a shaft into this vertical gearbox. Look at the top of this funnel, place another shaft, and then looking at the side of this chute, place another shaft. Connect the two end shafts with a belt. Next, we're going to get our smart chute. We're going to place the smart chute on top of this chest. Crouch click. On top of the smart chute, we're going to place a basin. We're also going to place a basin right in the middle of this belt. So the third one in from either side, 1, 2, 3. And then place our third basin on top of the chute column. Okay, next we want to get our brass funnels again. We're going to place a brass funnel against this basin and another against this basin. Get your andesite funnels. Place one on the left side of the middle basin and the left side of the basin on the end. Next, we're going to take our deployers. We're going to look right at the top of the basin, crouch click, and place each of the deployers on top of a basin. Swing around to the back. Get out your horizontal gearboxes and place one against the back of each deployer. And then connect to the center with two shafts on the right and one shaft on the left. Okay, next we're going to take our chutes, place a chute on top of each deployer, and we're going to place a double chest on top of each chute. Next, we need to get our andesite funnels. Place a funnel against each of these chests. Now we're ready to grab our filters. Again, these are the same filters used in the first design. I'll go over how to set these up in just a little bit, but in the interest of getting this running, we're going to go ahead and put these in. What we have in the filters is varying stages of the assembly process of the incomplete precision mechanism. This is all 5 steps after the small cogwheel is placed. So we're going to place that into our first brass funnel. These are each of the 5 steps after the large cog has been placed. We're going to put that into our second funnel. And then, of course, these are the steps after the 5 iron nuggets are placed. Of course, with the 5th step resulting in either the precision mechanism or any of these other items. That one is going to go onto our smart chutes. And then for our output filter, we're going to swing around the back. And this is all of the various things that could be crafted. Now we want to refeed our golden sheets back through the system, so we're going to remove that from this filter. And we place our filter. Let's go ahead and now we can load up all of our supply items. In the left top chest will go our small cog wheels. Middle chest will be our large cog wheels. And our top right chest will be our iron nuggets. You see some of those fell back into the chutes. I'm just going to come back through and top each of those off. It's basically a stack went into each of the deployers and then another 16 went into the chutes. Okay, next we come to our input chest. In here we're going to place 10 stacks. Again, that's how many you can run before you run out of items. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. And we should start seeing items moving through and getting processed. Very good, there we go. Stick around if you want to see the more efficient way of setting up these filters. In the meantime, our other machine has completed running. And as you can see, all of our items have ended up in the output chest. Any gold sheets have been fed back through and reprocessed. So if you're upgrading this from my original system, like I said, you can just take those same filters and use them here. Remove the gold sheets from number 4, and that will refeed the golden sheets back into the system. If you want to see the more efficient way of doing the filters, stick around. I've got that coming up. Thanks for sticking around for the tutorial, and I'll see you with some filters set up in just a moment. Okay, guys. We've got a slightly more efficient way for you to set up these filters, as it is kind of a long, tedious process. So to start with, we want to turn off our machine. And then we need to remove a couple of components. If you use your wrench and right-click on these components, they'll go straight back into your inventory, and you won't have to worry about picking them up off of the belts. So we're going to remove first the brass funnel on our first basin. We're going to remove the brass funnel from our second basin. And we are also going to remove our smart chute. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put our components in the top. We only need 5 of each for now. If you've already filled these up, that's fine. You can leave them full. We're just going to put 5 in there, as that is all we need right now. And we have our 1 gold sheet. We'll also need these items to put into the filter to filter out the junk items. So you'll need andesite alloy, a clock, golden nugget, shaft, cogwheel, iron ingot, crushed gold ore. And if you want to filter out the golden sheets, we're going to put that there. For our system, we're going to feed them back through so that they can be processed into more precision mechanisms. So now what we want to do is go ahead and switch on our machine now that our funnels and our brass funnels and our brass chute have been removed. take your filters, we're going to spread them out in our hotbar, and then place our golden sheet on the first basin. Right-click and pick that up, open your first filter, and we're going to place that into our filter. Then we want to check Respect Data. Select Respect Data because we want it to pay attention to the progress. You can see this is at progress 1 of 15. So with Respect Data checked, we can click OK. And now we're going to take this one that we just created, we're going to place it on our second basin. That's going to attach the large cogwheel. We can pick that up, go to our second filter, shift-click that into the filter, select Respect Data, and OK. Now we're going to take our incomplete mechanism, place it on our third depot, pick that back up, go to our third filter, and place our incomplete precision mechanism into that filter, select Respect Data, and OK. Now we're going to take the incomplete precision mechanism we took from our third depot and place it onto our first depot again. Let it attach the small cogwheel, pick that up, go back to your first filter, shift-click that into the filter. We already have Respect Data checked, so we are done there. And we're going to take our mechanism, place it on the second depot, pick that up, go to your second filter, shift-click that one in, and then go to our third. It will place the iron nugget. We're going to pick that up, go to your third filter, shift-click that in, and now we need to repeat that 3 more times. I'm going to click that on, pick it up, put it into our first filter, and then place our mechanism onto the second. Pick that back up, go to our second filter, place it into our second filter. Place our mechanism onto the third depot, pick that up, and put it into our third filter. Now, 2 more times around, back to our first depot, place, pick up, first filter, shift-click, OK. Incomplete mechanism to the second depot. Pick that one up, place it in the second filter. Incomplete mechanism onto the third depot. Pick that up, third filter, shift-click it in, and OK. And one more time through. And I know I'm aware I've called these things basins a few times. Sorry about that. I know they're depots. Anyway, all right, last time around, we're going to place it on our first. Pick that back up. Put it in our first filter. OK. I'm going to place it on our second. Pick that back up. Place it in the second filter. And then place this onto our third. Hopefully this actually becomes a precision mechanism and not a junk item. Otherwise, unless you already have a precision mechanism, you will need to start this process over. So fingers crossed. 2 out of 3 chance. And we got lucky. Good for us. Okay. So now we're going to place that into our third filter. And now we can take our fourth filter, open it up. We're going to shift click our precision mechanism into that filter, as well as each of our junk items, our andesite alloy, our clock, our gold nugget, our shaft, our small cog wheel, our iron ingot, and our crushed gold ore. And if you want to put the golden sheets in there and filter them out, now would be the time to do that as well. If you want them to be run back through the system and processed again, then you would leave them out. And this we can leave on the default ignore data. And OK. Next, we need to grab our brass funnels and our smart chute back. Let's go ahead and turn off the system. Not necessary, but I like having these off while I'm working on them. We're going to place our brass funnel back against our first depot, our second one against our second depot, and our smart chute we can put right underneath of the last depot. And we're going to take our first filter, put it in the first brass funnel, second filter in the second brass funnel, third filter in the smart chute, and then we're going to swing around to the back with our fourth filter and place it into our output funnel. And that's it. It's still a long process, but it seemed a bit easier to me than having to keep placing the individual components onto one deployer. So you can use whichever method you liked best, the one from the previous video or this one. Either one will give you the same results and will allow you to craft up to 10 stacks of precision mechanisms. So this is our tutorial one that we just built. You can see it's still cranking right along. It is going to take about 40 minutes to run 10 stacks through this thing. So something to keep in mind. You're going to need to AFK for a little bit to let that run, or just stay busy elsewhere in the base, I guess. So hopefully this thing will save you guys a lot of time. Hope you have a lot of fun building it as much as I did creating it. And I will be seeing you guys soon. I'm going to show you this as well as some other things in my survival world, because I am anxious to get back to my survival world. I have been in this creative world all week, and honestly, guys, I am a survival player. Mostly vanilla, but this create mod is... it's kind of like vanilla, but vanilla plus. You know what I mean if you play it. All right, guys. Well, it's time to go play some survival Minecraft. So, hope you have as much fun as I do. And I'll see you next time. Later.